Good morning, everybody. I hope you are all doing well. It is currently 10:29 a.m. Central Daylight Time, and we just had a couple of waterspout tornadoes on the ground, which likely came onto land near Moss Point, Mississippi. So we currently, according to the National Weather Service, do have a tornado on the ground near East Moss Point, Mississippi, right in here in this area of rotation. So if you were in Creole, west of Orange Grove, Mississippi, or in Moss Point, directly south of Interstate 10 near the Trent Lott International Airport. You need to seek shelter now on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, away from windows. So get into your safe spot. If you do not have a basement or storm shelter, get away from windows into the most interior part of the building on the lowest floor. So that could be a hallway or a closet, a bathroom, somewhere where you are away from those windows to protect yourself from flying debris. We can actually take a look at the correlation coefficient really quick. See if we had any debris, and let's take a look here. Okay, so I've got my eye on that a little bit, this part of CC over here on the left. I don't know if that could be a CC drop. I would personally say probably not, but then at the same time, it does line up pretty well. It looks pretty convincing, and then it kind of drifts off. So I'm not going to confirm or deny that CC drop, but what I will say is that you need to be in your safe spot. So once again, that's the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Basement or storm shelter is best. If you do not have that, get into the most interior part of the building on the lowest floor. So that could be a hallway, a bathroom, a closet, and make sure you are away from windows. So this tornado warning remains observed, just barely includes Moss Point, Mississippi. And this rotation is going to be approaching Interstate 10. Okay, let's go back a little bit further. Okay, now that I see that previous scan, that is most definitely a CC drop. So about 17 minutes ago, we had a strong tornado on the ground just north of East Side, Mississippi, south of Moss Point. You can pretty much perfectly see that, how it lines up on the correlation coefficient on the left and the velocities on the right. And if we look at the track, it lines up perfectly. And then there's that debris that kind of went away. So this tornado warning was actually just brought back down to a radar indicated tornado warning, but it still does have the potential to produce another tornado. So if you are in Moss Point, Mississippi, Orange Grove, any of these areas south of or near I-10, be prepared to seek shelter once again, or I should say stay in your shelter for these next 10 to 12 minutes. How's my morning been? Pretty good. I've been up for about an hour. I fell asleep on the couch last night watching TV, so that was nice. Looks like it's trying to recycle or something. I think we may have it trying to recycle right now, because you could see about 15-20 minutes ago is when it was really at its strongest point, and that lines up on the CC, and then it kind of lost its steam, but now I do think we may see it try to recycle. So it is back down to radar indicated, but nonetheless, if you're in these areas near the Grand Bay Natural Wildlife Refuge or Pecan, Mississippi, East Moss Point, Creole, Ford, or near the Trent Lott International Airport, you guys at that airport actually aren't really included in this tornado warning, but I would recommend seeking shelter. And it looks like our velocities may be picking up. Oh wait, is this the most recent scan? Yes, it is. Okay, so it looks like our velocities may be picking up once again near Highway 90. So this is a very slow moving tornado. I mean, the rotation is pretty much in the same exact spot, but you could see this is when it was a very well defined strong tornado on velocity and correlation coefficient. You could see that debris. Gulf Shores storms. Sure. Here, I'll just search it to make it quicker. Okay, Gulf Shores, Alabama. So they're actually under a tornado watch here. I should have gone over this earlier. So this tornado watch includes Hattiesburg, Mississippi, areas like Moss Point, Mississippi, Mobile, Alabama. It's a really coastal tornado watch, but it does also include areas all the way up to Hattiesburg. So you wanted me to check on these Gulf Shores storms? Sure. Okay, so looks like we've got these two areas of rotation. I would mainly want to have my eye on the eastern one. So this is going to be moving on to shore, and it's near Orange Beach, Alabama. So this rotation would be approaching Orange Beach, Alabama. It doesn't look the most concerning right now. I'd say it would be a different situation if it was 15 or 20 minutes ago, and same with this one, but we will continue to keep an eye on them. But these rotations are both just to the west and to the east of Gulf Shores when they do make their way onto land. This is our only tornado warning right now. It remains radar indicated, but I wouldn't be surprised if they made it go observed again. So let's check correlation coefficient really quick. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything right now on CC, so that is good. But it is definitely trying again. So if you're on Creole or East Moss Point, Mississippi, right along Highway 90, seek shelter now on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, away from windows. If you do not have a basement or storm shelter, get into the center of the building, like a hallway, bathroom, or closet, and away from windows to protect yourself from that flying debris. We have 4 people watching right now, 2 likes, so if you are just tuning in, be sure to like the stream. Greatly appreciated, helps out a lot. Hopefully the microphone isn't too muffled, because I normally use an external microphone, but right now I'm just on the laptop. This is just kind of a brief little update stream, not a full-on severe weather coverage. I don't even have my second monitor set up. Yes, if you can, put a helmet on too. Make sure you have shoes on. Just prepare yourself for that, especially if you are in East Moss Point, Creole, or Ford, Mississippi. The good news about this being a very slow-moving rotation and potential tornado pretty soon is that you have a lot of time to prepare for it, but also when it's right on top of you, it's going to be there for a while. So whether you're right under this rotation or if you are out in areas near Ford or East Moss Point, Mississippi, just seek shelter, especially if you are in this tornado warning polygon, which those areas are. But I don't know how I feel about this most recent velocity scan. I actually wouldn't be surprised if they didn't even reissue our tornado warning, but it also wouldn't shock me if they did. So we'll just see we'll see what happens with that. But I can't imagine we'll be live for much longer here. This was kind of just a brief update stream. But we will actually go over this tornado watch. So a couple of tornadoes possible. Isolated damaging wind gusts to 40 miles per hour. So that includes the coastal waters, southern Mississippi, and southeast Louisiana. For some reason they don't have it noted there, but it also includes southwest Alabama. So I'm actually going to turn off radar really quick, and we're going to look at today's severe weather outlook. So you could see today, it's a very coastal severe weather risk. We have a slight risk down here, which includes portions of Louisiana, Mississippi, and the Florida-Alabama panhandle, with a 5% tornado risk includes New Orleans, Gulfport, Mississippi, Kenner, Louisiana, and Biloxi, Mississippi. So this is really just a leftover risk from yesterday, mainly where we saw that 5% tornado risk kind of looking like this, I believe. Maybe it went a bit further east. I think our 5% was kind of like this. I don't know why my trackpad always makes that noise. I can hear it. It's like when I drag my finger along, like you'll probably hear it when I do this. It's like really weird. My finger like rubs on it. It makes that weird noise. But anyway, this is still a radar indicated tornado warning, and I think it may have tried to do something there just again at the 10:36 a.m. scan, but I don't think it's going to do anything now, so remain in your safe spot in East Moss Point, Ford, Mississippi, Creole, west of Orange Grove for another 3 to 4 minutes. But if they don't reissue that tornado warning, I would say you are probably good to go. But if you're in areas ahead of this, like on I-10 or near Helena or Helena, Mississippi, I would remain alert throughout your morning and early afternoon just to make sure that there is no longer an ongoing threat. One thing I would like to go over, let me pull up YouTube Studio really quick. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Misty. I don't get your question. But taking a look at our live sub count, we are 2 subscribers away from 1,700. The other day we got up to 1,699, but then we went back down to 1,696. We've made some more progress. We're 2 away. So if you haven't already, be sure to share the channel. It helps out a lot. You can see here's our growth lately. So throughout October, we were really stuck in that 1,687 range. But then we went up 3 on the 18th, and then we went up 4 on the 19th, and then another 3 on the 20th, and then we kind of went back down. So I'm not expecting us to hit it this stream, but the goal is 1,700 subscribers by Halloween. So that means we've got 5 days to do it. So if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. It's entirely free. It helps out a lot. If we get to 1 subscriber away, I'll pull up the live sub count and we'll see if we can hit it. Otherwise, we'll continue watching the radar. But I do want to go back to these rotations over here near Gulf Shores, because this one approaching Orange Beach, Alabama, it's about to make its way onto shore. Yeah, it just picked up even more on this scan. So I think we may actually have a waterspout on the ground or see something pretty soon with this tornado. So if you are in Orange Beach, Alabama, or west of Gulf Beach Heights, I would recommend seeking shelter now on the lowest floor of a sturdy building away from windows. Can't imagine you guys have basements out there with how close you are to the coast, but you never know. But once again, for those of you just tuning in, we currently have 4 people watching. If you have not already, please consider subscribing to the channel. It is 100% free. All you need to do is have a Google account. We've got 5 people watching, and our goal is 1,700 by Halloween. But getting back to radar, we just had a tornado on the ground around 20 minutes ago near Moss Point, Mississippi, and this was actually a very strong tornado. So let me go ahead and show this to you all. Okay, so we're going to need to go 14 frames. You can see right there. Actually, no, you can't. There was our CC drop, and there was our rotation, so these line up very well. So it was a very strong tornado on the ground, thankfully very brief, but still a tornado nonetheless. So hopefully everybody is all right and the damage is pretty minor, but that tornado warning has now expired, and now our main focus is going to be on Gulf Shores, Alabama, Orange Beach, Alabama, because we have these two rotations off the coast. We have this one over here just south of Gulf Shores, and we have this one just to the east near Orange Beach. This one is the one that is concerning me. That is very strong rotation, and it looks like it would be a pretty large tornado if it were to touch down, or a pretty large water spout. So if you are in Orange Beach, Alabama, I would recommend getting into your safe spot. So once again, that means the lowest floor of a sturdy building, away from windows, in the center part of the building. So that could be a bathroom, a hallway, or a closet. If you can, if it's accessible, putting a helmet on never hurts. A pillow around your head, and it is always recommended to have shoes on. We'll check in on the sub count again. Normally I would just have it up on my second monitor, so I would bring it up if we get close, but unfortunately I don't have the second monitor set up today. Because like I said, this was just going to be a pretty brief stream. But I do want to keep an eye on this tornado, or potential tornado I should say, approaching Orange Beach, Alabama. Okay, so we actually did get a new tornado warning for that storm. That one once again includes Moss Point, East Moss Point. So we do not have a tornado on the ground. This is a radar indicated tornado warning. But if you're in Orange Grove, Pecan, Missoula, Mississippi, north of East Moss Point, Helena, the Trent Lott International Airport, or in the Helena Industrial Complex, be prepared to seek shelter. There is the potential for a tornado. And if we read through this special weather statement, okay, they did note the potential for water spouts with this one. But they did just issue a severe thunderstorm warning for this storm, which is approaching shores right now near Orange Beach, Alabama. This is actually going to be, can't tell if that's Florida or Alabama, but Orange Beach, Gulf Shores. So we don't have a tornado warning with this. Would not shock me at all if they were to issue one, but they did note the tornado possible tag 0.75 inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So if we read through this severe thunderstorm warning, the National Weather Service in Mobile has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Baldwin County and southwestern Alabama. So this is just barely in Alabama. At 10:45 a.m. Central Daylight Time, which is 3 minutes ago, a severe thunderstorm was located 4 miles southeast of Orange Beach, moving north at 15 miles per hour. Hazard 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, source radar indicated. So locations impacted include Foley, Orange Beach, Lillian, Perdido Beach, and Alberta. Remain alert for a possible tornado. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. If you spot a tornado, go at once into the basement or a small central room in a sturdy structure. So center room, lowest floor of the building, and make sure you are away from windows, because the National Weather Service has noted that this has the potential to produce a tornado, because really just look at how that rotation has picked up. Once again, would not shock me if we saw a tornado warning with this in just a couple minutes. So kind of just keeping an eye on that right now. Nothing else really to talk about. I'm not going to get models pulled up or anything because I don't have my second monitor, but we are watching Hurricane Melissa, which is forecasted to become a Category 5 hurricane in about 21 hours on Monday. and that is very unexpected. We were not expecting Melissa to get this strong. I am considering making a forecast for Melissa, but not going to go over that right now. I do want to focus on this rotation near Orange Beach, Alabama, because once again, that is very strong rotation. The National Weather Service has noted the potential for a tornado to touch down, because we do have the tornado possible tag on this severe thunderstorm warning. Hey Paige, thanks for tuning in. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your morning. But once again, for those of you just tuning in, because we now do have 8 people watching, we do have this rotation near Orange Beach, Alabama, with the potential for a tornado. I'm not great with my words this morning. I just woke up about an hour ago, so still waking up, but I did want to go live because we did just have a tornado about half an hour ago near Moss Point, Mississippi, so I'll go ahead and show you all this. Okay, so correlation coefficient is on the right, velocity on the left. If we go back to about, okay, so that's about 40 minutes ago now, you can see very clearly that CC drop. And then over here on velocity near the Singing River Hospital, you could very clearly see that rotation right along Highway 90, so hopefully everybody is alright. It looks like it was a very brief tornado, but a strong tornado at that. So I'll look for damage reports, but right now my main focus is with this storm just off the coast of southern Alabama. So for those of you just tuning in, our subscriber goal is currently 1,700 by Halloween, and we have 6 people watching, and we are currently 2 away. We are at 1,698 subscribers. So I'll go ahead and refresh this. So if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. It helps out a lot, and it is 100% optional. But I'm going to go ahead and mute my microphone because I do need to go do something really quick. And I'm also going to set up our second monitor, but I will keep the radar on our Gulf Shores storm, so I would not be surprised to see a tornado warning with that. But I will be right back, everybody. Give me just a minute or two. Alrighty, everybody, I am back. Got that second monitor set up, so things should be a bit smoother, but wow, look at that. That is very strong rotation and a very large rotation, so this would likely be a pretty big tornado if we were to see a touchdown. So once again, in Orange Beach, if you're in Orange Beach, Alabama, seek shelter now on the lowest floor of a sturdy building away from windows. Even if we don't see a tornado with this, because that is entirely possible, I highly recommend you get into your safe spot. That was not meant to go there. I'm not sure what just happened. Okay. But once again, okay, there is that tornado warning. We had been anticipating this. I called that out, but it has now been issued. So this tornado warning includes Orange Beach, Alabama, Josephine, Alabama, Perdido Beach, Alabama, Wolf Bay. So it looks like we have some land right here in Orange Beach, and then it goes kind of back into the bay. So once again, if you are in these areas, seek shelter now on the lowest floor of a sturdy building away from windows. So this tornado warning includes southeastern Baldwin County and southwestern Alabama, southwestern Escambia County, and northwestern Florida. So this does include portions of Florida, so if you're in those areas, you know the drill. So at 10:53 a.m., which is 2 minutes ago, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Orange Beach, moving northwest at 20 miles per hour. So this storm is moving much quicker than our other one that we were talking about at the start of this stream. I'm going to go ahead and get our thumbnail updated and title. So give me just a moment, everyone, because now my main focus is definitely on this storm. So once again, just a moment, everybody. Would not be surprised if we do see a tornado touchdown with this. So once again, get into your safe spot. That means the center part of the building, lowest floor, away from windows, to protect yourself from that flying debris. If you have a helmet, put it on. Make sure you have shoes on, and cover your head, protect your head. But once again, we do now have a tornado warning with this storm for those of you just tuning into stream. So I'm going to take just a second to get this new thumbnail set up. It's not the best, but it'll do. Hopefully this rotation does weaken. I mean, it's been going pretty strong for a while, the past 10 or 15 minutes off the coast. Hopefully it does lose its steam, but right now it's not looking like it. Okay, so YouTube does not want to let me change the thumbnail today, so that is alright. The web page keeps closing. But we won't worry about that right now. So once again, if you are in Orange Beach, Florida, please seek shelter now on the lowest floor of a sturdy building away from windows. I am currently looking for damage reports from our storm out near Moss Point, Mississippi, because we did have a tornado on the ground earlier. But I'm not seeing anything yet. Unfortunately, I am probably going to have to end off the live stream pretty soon in 5 to 10 minutes. I will need to go, but I will keep an eye on the radar, and if something crazy is happening, I will try my best to come back and be live. But once again, if you are in Orange Beach, Alabama, Josephine, Alabama, Perdido Beach, Alabama, Wolf Bay, you need to seek shelter now on the lowest floor of a sturdy building away from windows. Misty says tornado damage in Sulphur, Louisiana. Okay, let's look this up. I'm not using my external microphone today, so I'm trying to type really quietly because otherwise it's going to be super loud for you guys because the internal microphone is right by the keyboard. The only thing I'm seeing for Sulphur, Louisiana is the Live Storms Media tornado warning storm with lots of lightning. I'm not seeing any damage yet, but I'm sure I'll see something pretty soon. But both of these tornado warnings are still radar indicated. Hopefully it stays that way. But with that being said, unfortunately, I do need to end off this live stream. I will try to be back later this morning or afternoon if necessary. But with that being said, thank you all so much for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, Paige. We had Camp and Misty, so thanks for being here. And also our silent viewers, if you have not already, be sure to like the stream. We got 6 likes this stream. That's pretty good. So thanks for the support, everybody. I hope you're all doing well, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.